Dorset is a county of contrasts. It has the very best of countryside, coastline, and has an abundance of attractions. In fact, there's so much to do, you are spoilt for choice. The busy port of Poole is a bustling tourist resort, well known for having Europe's largest natural harbour. Fabulous beaches, plus a beautiful historic town. But if you're looking for something slower and more relaxed, then Dorset has a wealth of historic castles and National Trust properties to explore. Kingston Lacey is a magnificent National Trust house and estate. It was for many years the family seat of the Banks family, who lived nearby at Corfe Castle. Inside the house you are treated to a wealth of treasures inspired by the palaces of Italy. The house is brimming with artifacts, beautiful detailed carvings and family paintings. The gardens cover over 800 acres of woodland walks and include special features. We were lucky to catch one of the last free guided tours of the year, run by a very knowledgeable volunteer. What a difference this made, as our tour gave us much more information about the history of the gardens than if we'd just wandered round by ourselves. One of the special features was this beautiful Japanese garden created in the 1900s. It is laid out with bamboo plants and water features, and pathways meandering to an authentic Japanese tea house.
Yeah, because it's obviously soccer brain.
Lastly, a visit to the kitchen garden. Then off for a cream tea for a perfect end to a perfect day. Now, Kingston Lacey was nice, but now it was time for something for the boys. This tank museum at Bobington Camp has a collection of armoured fighting vehicles. Over 300 First and Second World War vehicles from over 20 countries traces their history, and it's the largest collection of tanks and the third largest collection of armoured vehicles in the world. In 1923, the writer Rudyard Kipling viewed the damaged tanks that had been salvaged at the end of the First World War. So impressed, he recommended a museum should be built for the benefit of the public. A large shed was erected to house the collection, and it was opened to the general public in 1947 and has grown ever since. Today, hundreds of huge military machines in 6 large halls, each with special features, can be viewed right up close. Although each vehicle has an information board, the best way to find out more details is to join one of the free, excellent guided tours.
Around this time, the 19th, 20th of September was the Battle of Arnhem, and when they went over the big bridge at Nijmegen, heading to Arnhem, which of course they never actually reach. The driver is on one side, and he has a gunner beside him. With the Firefly, they had to get rid of the extra gunner.
The horrors and the fear of soldiers in World War I were shown here in this display. Also in the museum, there is a reference to T.E. Lawrence, otherwise known as Lawrence of Arabia. This is because he lived nearby in a small cottage, now owned by the National Trust. Sadly, he died in a tragic accident in 1935 on his much-loved motorbike. Apart from the military vehicles that are on display, there are a lot more in store ready for refurbishment. And this is an excellent day out and well worth a second visit, which by the way is included on your ticket for 1 year. Thomas Hardy was born in 1840 in this small thatched cottage. It is now part of a visitor centre run by the Dorset Council and the National Trust. The garden and workshop reflects most people's idea of a typical 19th century home. Once inside, you experience the rural life of all those years ago, with its open hearths, small windows and stone floors. Although a guide is on hand to answer any questions, you can also wander freely through each of the rooms on your own. Corfe Castle was originally owned by the Banks family, and it was the last on our list of National Trust properties to visit in Dorset for now. There is a pleasant walk up to the ruins from the National Trust free car park. The castle is a fortification standing above the village of the same name. Built by William the Conqueror, it dates from the 11th century. The castle just about survived the Civil War, but it was badly damaged in 1646 in yet another battle. Finally, it was handed back to the Banks family and remained in their ownership for 3.5 centuries. In 1982, Ralph Banks bequeathed it to the National Trust along with Kingston Lacey Estate. It was one of the most valuable gifts given to the National Trust.